What is going on, everybody? It is the HHN Dawg here, the leader of the pack, and welcome to episode 5 of HHN Dawg's horror movie reviews. In today's episode, I will review An American Werewolf in London, released in 1981, directed by John Landis, and stars David Naughton, Agutter, and Griffin Dunne. So, before I get started, if you have not seen this movie, An American Werewolf in London, I definitely recommend you stopping this video and checking this movie out because you are missing out on a great movie. So, basically, how the movie goes is that, David Naughton and Griffin Dunne, who plays the characters David Kessler and Jack Goodman, are two American college students going into London for a trip. And when they arrive, they are told by a gentleman pointing in the direction of which way should go. Well, David and Jack come across the slaughtered lamb, where they encounter a bunch of gentlemen in the slaughtered lamb having a blast, drinking, playing darts and playing cards and all that. Well, when Jack asks about the 5-pointed star on the wall, all the gentlemen and the bartender get all quiet and suspicious, and they tell Jack and David to leave. But one of the gentlemen sitting down warns Jack and David, and that famous line as he goes, "Stay on the road, keep clear of the moors." Well, they lose. Well, as they are walking away, Jack and David lose track of the road, and they end up walking into the moors where the werewolf is waiting. Well, Jack and David, they get attacked by the wolf. Jack ends up getting killed, and David ends up getting marked by the wolf. So then that's when David is introduced to Nurse Alex Price, which of course is played by Jenny Agutter. They end up getting into a relationship, and David is trying to warn everybody that he is a werewolf, and no one seems to believe him until David actually turns into a werewolf, causes mass hysteria. He ends up killing a lot of people throughout the movie until he ends up getting shot and killed himself in the alley towards the end of the movie by London police. So this movie right here, and that is the best way I can put that's the best way I can, put the movie into a whole for those who have not seen this movie, because I don't want to give too much away. Before I go any further, the makeup in this movie. The makeup in this movie, which is done by Rick Baker, one of my personal favorite makeup artists of all time. He did such a phenomenal job on the makeup on actor Griffin Dunne playing Jack Goodman. Such a great job. And I can't forget about John Landis. He's one of my all-time favorite directors. He, of course, is known for directing this and the Blues Brothers and Animal House, but this right here is up there as one of my favorite John Landis movies. John Landis did such a great job. John Landis tidbit, he actually wrote this movie when he was a teenager. I remember, I think I heard him tell the story one time, and I forgot how old he was. I think he was like 17, 18 when he wrote An American Werewolf and didn't actually make the movie, so he was older. And just this movie right here is just phenomenal. And I also can't forget, the actors David Naughton, Griffin Dunne, and Jenny Agutter. They did such a phenomenal job in this movie as well. Now, the transformation scene, of course. The transformation scene of David Kessler from himself into the wolf is one of the most impressive and one of the most memorable scenes in horror movie history, with the change-o heads, the change-o hands, the change-o feet, and I think there's one called the change-o back or spine, where just different camera angles show David Kessler screaming in pain, ripping his clothes off, just screaming in agonizing pain as he's transforming into the wolf. Another tidbit about John Landis and the transformation scene. If you have seen The Wolfman, the original Wolfman released in 1941 starring Lon Chaney Jr., as you saw in the original Wolfman, Lon Chaney Jr. kind of just sits there, and as each time they cut, they keep adding more hair, and he's just sitting there. I can't figure out the best way to put it, but as you can tell, he's just sitting there, Lon Chaney Jr. just sitting there, and they keep adding hair after shot after shot after shot until, he becomes the Wolfman. Well, John Landis said he did not like that. He said he wanted the actor, David Naughton, to scream in pain and, just saying, "Help, help me." That's what John Landis wanted, and that made it even better. Just by the way they did the pneumatic system to, make the face stretch out and morph from David Kessler into the wolf, and just everything about that transformation scene is just so iconic in horror movie history. And An American Werewolf in London is such a inspiration around the world that Universal's Halloween Horror Nights actually created haunted houses out of An American Werewolf in London. In 2013 at Halloween Horror Nights 23, What Evil Has Taken Root, Halloween Horror Nights actually created an American Werewolf in London house where you walked right into the movie. You entered the slaughtered lamb, you went to the moors where you saw Jack get killed, the first sighting of the wolf, you went into the train station, you went into Piccadilly Circus, you went everywhere just like the movie. And then a year later for Halloween Horror Nights 2014 in Hollywood, in California, they did An American Werewolf in London, and then Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights brought An American Werewolf back for as one of the 9 houses for their 25th anniversary. So as you can tell, An American Werewolf in London is such a popular movie with horror movie fans everywhere. I was first introduced to An American Werewolf in London from Halloween Horror Nights 23's house. That was the first time I've ever heard of it, so I checked it out, and after going through the house and then seeing the movie, I fell in love with the movie. So this will forever, be one of my favorite horror movies of all time. This just right here is just so incredible. I cannot, say it enough. But again, John Landis did such a great job directing it. The actors did such a great job portraying the characters. And Rick Baker, once again, phenomenal job on the makeup. So, again, if you have not checked out An American Werewolf in London, I definitely recommend you checking it out now. Because if you haven't, you're missing out on it. So, thank you so much for watching this video, and again, thank you. So stay tuned next week for when I review Hellfest. So stay tuned for that. So again, thank you so much for checking out this video, and until next week's episode, everybody, I will see you all in the doghouse.